You think Joe Biden's a good man?
I've known him for 40 years, and I've always thought of him as somebody who was compassionate, who cared about this country. I haven't seen much of him in the past since he was elected.
Neither have we. Do you think he has strong character? You saw how he reacted in Maui.
I don't think I can shed any light on it. People can look at him and make up their own minds.
Do you think he's a healthy guy?
This job requires a lot of people to be in good shape. If he feels that he's up to that he should debate me.
Do you feel that he's up to debate?
I'm not gonna. I don't think it's good for the American people, and I don't think it's good for the Democratic Party if the only people that he has to talk to win this election are his donors and the head of the DNC. I think he needs to. The president should be out talking to the American people, because if you're living in that bubble where just the only people who have access to you are actual Americans are living. Americans are hurting like they've never been before. It's important for our political leadership to have a dialogue and have engagement with not just me, but with the public.
Vivek Ramaswamy shares your view on Ukraine. You took a shot at him the other day after the debate. Do you like Vivek?
I enjoyed watching him in the debate, and I've actually talked to him a couple of times. And, you know, I encourage him because I think the more people and the more different kind of voices, and he agrees with me on the war.
There's a Kennedy-Ramaswamy alliance, you're saying.
That's funny.
You mentioned the fact that he said something about single mothers during the debate.
Part of the problem is we also have a federal government that pays single women more not to have a man in the house than to have a man in the house, contributing to an epidemic of fatherlessness.
What did you mean by that?
It's important that they have at least parity with married. I understand that we want to create incentives for people keeping people in marriages, but if you're penalizing people financially, single mothers for not staying in abusive marriages, it's not a good thing for anybody.
Have you seen the Trump mugshot?
Yeah, I did see it.
What'd you think?
It was an interesting and probably very shrewd decision for him to put on that very defiant face. I think it's very popular with his base.
Do you think the mugshot appeals to the Democrat base in any way?
I had a mugshot when I was arrested in Puerto Rico in 2001 when I was doing a protest against the Navy on a lawsuit that I eventually won that got the Navy out of Vieques. But when you're arrested and you get the mugshot, you have a strategic decision about how you want to look. I wondered whether he practiced it in front of a mirror or whether he was just angry at the time and that reflected what he did. But I thought, from a strategic point of view, it worked very well for him.
How do you feel about the fact that the president is having Democrat prosecutors arrest his political opponent?
I've been very disciplined about not commenting on the legal proceedings on either side, because, you know, anything I say is going to be seen as political.
So you're going to dodge the question?
Yeah, exactly.
You speak about a voter ID because right now the country mistrusts the electoral process. People are worried about fraud. People are worried about illegal voting. How would your plan address that?
Make passport cards, which are a form of the passport, free. A lot of poor people, particularly people in cities who don't drive, don't have access to identification. And if we have voter ID laws, it would keep them from voting. So it would keep a huge demographic of people from voting. And it's costly to get a license. It's costly to get a government photo ID.
How much does a government photo ID cost?
The passport now costs $65, and then there's some paperwork. But it's very convenient. If you made it free for poor people, it's very convenient because there's 33,000 post offices in this country. You can go down and get it. And it's a solution that is endorsed by Republicans and Democrats. In fact, President Bush endorsed it, President Clinton endorsed it, and President Carter endorsed it.
So it's bipartisan, which means it'll never happen. Do you own an electric car?
No.
Why not?
Because I have a minivan, because I got 7 kids, and I got 3 dogs and a lot of other animals, and there's no electric car that they would fit in.
Are you an avid media consumer? You seem like you watch a lot of Fox.
Right now, I get the most reliable news source other than the Jesse Waters show is Substack for me.
CNN, MSNBC, did they invite you on?
No.
Why not?
You would have to ask them.
It seems like you'd be a natural fit over there. What do you think's changed?
CNN and MSNBC have become, openly partisan and very, very much aligned with the Democratic National Committee. And, they share the same sort of anger at my candidacy, and they don't, they'll do stories about me, but they won't allow me to talk directly to their audience.
Are you shocked at how humane I am?
Yeah, I am actually. You're kind of amorphous to me. You're androgynous, and I can't really put my finger on I don't even know if you're Republican or Democrat.
Okay, I'm going to take that as a compliment. Kennedy, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jesse.